All right, everybody. Welcome to Lesson 5-4. Okay? Relatively quick. Here it is. Lesson 5-4 deals with the same types of functions we've been talking about. So here's the function. F of x. I'm going to give you a linear one first. We have x minus 3 plus 7. Okay? And I'll write an exponential one. We'll do g of x, where it's 2, and then we'll do x minus 5, or plus 5 up here, minus 2. Okay, it's still dealing with the same concept. Do I have parentheses? Except this time, I'm looking for a negative sign. Now, in the first problem, I'm going to put the negative sign here. Okay? Better yet, let me change that. In the first problem, I'm going to put the negative sign here. Okay? So we're going to skip this. I'm going to cross it out. In the second problem, I'm going to put the negative sign here. Alright, notice. In one of these problems, the negative sign is inside the parentheses. In the other problem, it's outside the parentheses. Okay? So now we're not only looking for the parentheses, but we're looking for if there's a negative sign there and what that negative sign will tell me. So now when I look at this problem with what we've learned, we know this is actually moving 3 units to the, hopefully you said left, correct? Because it's minus. So it's supposed to be left, right? Left is minus. Thank you for those who corrected me. Remember, when it's inside the parentheses, we always go the opposite direction. So inside the parentheses is left and right, and here we're going to the right. Minus 3 means 3 units to the right. And then outside the parentheses, it says 7 units up. Correct. So we're going to right 3 and 7 up. That hasn't changed. What changes is this. The negative sign that's in the parentheses. This is going to tell me where my reflection is taking place. So you can reflect 2 places. You can reflect vertically or horizontally. Now here's the catch. If I'm flipping horizontally, which means I'm moving left and right, I'm actually going over a vertical line. Okay, so you got to be really careful with your terminology. So here we go. My XY axis. It's in the parentheses, and when the negative sign is in the parentheses, I'm changing all of my X signs. I change all the signs that deal with my X's. So that means whatever graph I have, I'm flipping my x's from positive to negative, or if there's some of them that are negative, I'm switching them to positive, which means I'm flipping from left to right. Now, coordinate notation is easy on this because it's x, y, and when I change it, I just change the sign. So it would be negative x and then y. Now, the unique thing is we're also talking about a move in this problem. Now, will this be that complex? Will we have problems that are that complex? No. Most of the time, our problems will look like this. And I'll make this one easier now. F of x equals negative x. Okay? So that means all of my x's are going to change. So I put a negative sign in front of the x. That tells me to change all of my x's. With the x, with the x, with the x, with the x. That means I'm flipping over a vertical line of reflection. Now, in class, we talked about the y-axis. As a math problem, it's known as x equals 0. It's also a vertical line. Okay? So vertical line of x equals 0. So sometimes they're going to say reflected over x equals 0. Sometimes they're going to say reflected over the y-axis. you have to know that they are the same. They want you to go this way. Okay? So, you can guess that if the negative sign is inside the parentheses and I'm changing all the signs of my x's, you can kind of guess what's happening when the negative sign is outside the parentheses. Hopefully you've already finished this. Correct. If the negative sign is outside the parentheses, I'm changing all my y's, which means my notation now looks like this. So if my y's were negative, they're now positive. If they were positive, they're now negative, and I'm flipping this way, up and down. It's called a reflection. And I am reflecting over the horizontal line. And that horizontal line is known as the x-axis by name. But if I wanted to say that as a math problem, if this vertical one is x equals 0, hopefully you know this horizontal one is known as y equals 0. So if I'm reflecting something over the y of 0, or y equals 0, that means I'm only changing the y signs. I'm taking whatever's up here and moving it down here. Okay? And you have to be able to go forwards and backwards. So if I tell you that we're going to flip it over the y-axis, or we're going to reflect it over x equals 0, then you're going to write a problem where the negative sign is where? Hopefully you know the negative sign will be inside your parentheses. If I said we're going to write a math problem where we're going to reflect it over y equals 0, that means you should know it's the x-axis, which means I'm moving up and down. If I'm reflecting over the up and down, I'm changing my y's because they control up and down. Hopefully you've written those words out. If not, go back and listen to them again so that you know about where the negative sign is according to the parentheses. All right, have a wonderful day.